Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Henry's Kitchen. Um, I just want to give an announcement. We're doing a listening party for the new Jose Suicidio album, There's Something Wrong With Me. And that's happening on Bandcamp. So there's going to be two chats going on at the same time. I'm trying to tell everybody to please just chat on the Bandcamp page, where you'll also be hearing the music, and then I can respond by voice to text. But I don't know what the hell I'm doing or how I'm going to do this, but we're going to try. It's going to start in about 5 minutes. Just in case, I don't know. Oh, It's Kate just posted in the chat a link to the Bandcamp page. Thank you so much, It's Kate. Pancake King, you're right. We'll work it out. It's going to be all good. It's Friday. It's just going to be a great time, and I can't wait to see what kind of comments you have about Jose Suicidio's music. Is it as good as the Horse of Sausalito? Not the Horse of Sausalito, the Whore of Sausalito. That's going to be for you to decide. It's sort of like Led Zeppelin 1 versus Led Zeppelin 2. Well, I guess it'd be more like In Through the Outdoor, because it took at least a decade for Jose to write a second album. But okay, Guitar Joe's got two monitors. I think I'm gonna go in here to the Bandcamp. So again, the better interface would be going directly to Bandcamp, but I'm trying to do Twitch also. Do you see a bouncy Jose Suicidio album right there and a chat? Oh wait, but now I'm not looking at your chat anymore. Here, I'll pull it up. Yes, Pug Lady says yes. Okay. Well, this album should be starting very soon. And there's chat happening. So Van Hunkerton says, I see a bouncy album cover. Can you see me bouncing? I don't see you bouncing, but I'm going to have to, for the sake of my own ADHD, I'm going to have to stop looking at the chat on Twitch and start looking at the one here on Bandcamp. But it should be streaming. Okay. Oh, I'd have to, I'm not logged in on this one, but I am on the other one. Oh boy. This is just a test. I mean, my... So if you're on Twitch, I'll be able to see your chat in here on the Bandcamp. I just texted that. Okay, 2 minutes! Exclamation point. Okay.
There's something broken inside of me, something no one else can see. Something hurts and it's way down deep. I think there's something wrong with me. I got friends that I never see. They say they don't have time for me. I try to reach out to my family, but I just get voicemail. I try to watch TV, it only saddens me. Everyone's yelling and screaming and fighting in the street. I put some pizza in the microwave, forgot about it for several days. Then when I found it, I just threw it away. There's surely something wrong with me. All the kids in the neighborhood tell me I don't look so good. How I would change it all if I could, but I can't seem to. Every day used to be such possibility. Now every road that I take leads to failure and despair. Watch out now. There's something broken inside of me, but whatever will be, will be. I guess that this is just my destiny, because there's something wrong with me. Mark Cohen, everybody.
I went to get a colonoscopy. They said, I'm sorry, sir, you gotta leave. It turns out I was at the DMV. I think there's something wrong with me.
That was great. Now you try one at home. I guess that this is just my destiny, because there's something wrong with me. First she has a boyfriend, the next day she's engaged. Then she says she's married. Girl, why are you playing these mind games? Love games, head games, brain games, mind benders, brain twisters. She's playing with my head. I saw her on the street with another guy. Funny, cause she told me she didn't want to be in a relationship. Mind games, love games, head games, brain twisters, mind puzzlers. She's playing with my head. Word jumbles, magic mazes, spot the difference. What's the one where it's got all the letters going around it and you have to use a common letter and unscramble it? That one. We haven't spoken in years. Someone told me that she moved to California and married a lawyer. But then she calls me out of the blue and says she wants to sell me vitamin water. Ah. at me and smiled, so I asked her on a date. She said that she was gay. Girl, why are you playing these mind games? Love games, head games, brain games, crossword puzzles, trivia questions, Sudoku, Wordle, word quizzes, brain busters, mind teasers, puzzle conundrums, jigsaw puzzles, crossword puzzles, words without friends, crypto jumble, word ladder, connect the word. What's the one where you've got 16 words in 4 categories and you have to group them according to a common theme? Waffle, dordle, nerdle, quordle, squirtle, phrasal, hurdle, nasal, word jumbles, magic mazes. She says she wants to Uber home now, 'cause you're just not her type of guy. And she's got better things to do than to hang around with you. She's got other ways she'd rather spend her time. So for now, she just wants to Uber home. She says it's not that you're not handsome, you're just not her cup of tea. But she still wants to be your friend, 'cause if she meets her Mr. Right, then maybe you could help them move their stuff when she moves in with him. But for now, she just wants an Uber home. Girl, I know that it's all over now, but it's 8 p.m. on Friday night. The Uber rates are surging high. Oh girl, I promise not to cry again, but I'd really like if we could wait until the price goes down. Says she wants to Uber home now, and it's not negotiable. So open up that stupid app, get her address and all that crap, and just admit that it was never meant to be. 'Cause right now, she says she wants to Uber home. Hey, girl, it looks like you told me another bullshit story again. You pulled a fast one, and I was the last one to know. And now I look like an asshole. Hey, girl, it looks like you served up another hot plate of bologna again. And I was sitting with a knife and a fork, saying, can I get seconds? You said to meet you at the soda shop and we could maybe do some hanging around. But then I waited at the soda shop and you were nowhere to be found. Oh, 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 girl, don't you know what you're doing to me when you stand me up this way? You got me begging on my hands and knees for a second date. Oh, hey, girl, it looks like you told me another bullshit story again. You told a stinker and then let it linger, and I ate it up, fucking hook, line, and sinker. Hey, girl, it looks like you cooked up another hot bowl of hogwash again, and I was sitting with my spoon in my hand, saying this looks delicious. And I'll do the dishes. Begging on my hands and knees for one more try. Oh, hey, girl, it looks like you told me another bullshit story again. You pulled a fast one, and I was the last one to know, and now I look like an asshole. Hey, girl, it looks like you served up another hot plate of bologna again, and I was sitting with a knife and a fork, saying, can I get seconds? Oh, one more time. Hey, girl, it looks like you told me another bullshit story again. You told a stinker and then let it linger, and I ate it up, fucking hook, line, and sinker. Hey, girl, it looks like you cooked up another hot bowl of hogwash again, and I was sitting with my spoon in my hand.
Well, I was roving on the bog on a misty mountain morning when a cheeky lad jumped up and shouted, ho, top of the morning. Row, ho, diddle-I-yay, in the musty mountain dew, my friend. Shave my belly with a rusty knife when I wake up in the morning. A bottle of rum and a fancy jig, and the road rise up to meet ye. Just put another shrimp on the barbie, friend, and I'll be there to greet ye. Row, ho, diddle-I-yay, fancy free on the bonny bog. Whack all day in the valley, oh, and I go home in the morning. Row, ho, skiddly-doo, a misty, musty morning, friend, skittering about with a drunken whore, and I go home in the morning. Rolling on down to the bonny green with a bottle of Tullamore, do ya? Gallivanting far and wide and shouting, top of the morning to ya. Row, ho, diddle-I-yay, whack the foal with the daddy-o, and a shin in a bucket with a drunken whore, and I go home in the morning. Row, ho, diddle-I-yay, misty mountain dew, my friend, shave my willy with a rusty knife, and I wake up in the morning. The deficit is soaring high as carbon emissions fill the sky, and North Korea's firing bombs as political accusations fly, and California just got hit by a swarm of killer bees, and now you tell me there's a fucking global disease. COVID-19, COVID-19, I've been sitting here in quarantine while the nightly news tells deadly tales of COVID-19. COVID-19, COVID-19, I've been wiping all my groceries clean 'cause I don't want to get COVID-19. COVID-19, COVID-19, I
just bought hydroxychloroquine from a guy who's got a podcast about COVID-19. COVID-19, COVID-19. I just bathed my dog in Listerine, 'cause I don't want him to get COVID-19. The virus targets older folks. The late night shows stop telling jokes. The White House says it's China's fault, while others say it's just a hoax. And face masks block saliva drops, or maybe they don't. One day we all will be immune, or maybe we won't. COVID-19, COVID-19. Have you seen the price of gasoline when the whole world's staying home because of COVID-19? COVID-19, COVID-19. There'll be no such thing as in between when you're talking about COVID-19. COVID-19, COVID-19. Take another shot of OxyClean as we raise our glasses high again to COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19. How I wish I had a time machine so I could go back and kill baby COVID-19. And the world won't have to deal with COVID-19. Well, I'd rather be all alone than to have my heart broken. I could live on a desert island as long as they had food. And I'd rather just waste away than to spend my life thinking about the choices that I made and how I'd change them if I could. And I'd rather be by myself than build a partnership and have it tumble to the ground when she leaves me for a life coach. I could live in solitude inside a 12-foot cell with the minimum legal provisions and maybe a ham radio.
Be quiet. Be quiet. Stop talking.
Melissa, I don't know if you'll ever fully grasp the extent to which you destroyed my life when you left me. Since that fateful night, I've had to rely on the generosity of friends who have let me sleep on their couch.
Be quiet.
I've lost self-esteem, gained self-destructive habits, but worst of all, I've built a wall of separation between myself and the outside world.
Stop.
You could have given our love one more chance, but instead, you chose to throw it away. Everything that we had built over those 11 weeks we had together during our senior year.
Shut up.
Well, I'd rather be all alone than to have to face my fears and try to love again, knowing nothing's meant to last.
Be quiet.
And I'd rather humanity gets wiped out by a virus than to have to confront my shortcomings. I could find some consolation in a post-apocalyptic urban landscape.
Be quiet. Big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. Shut up. Shut up.
Don't look now, shit on a shingle. Everybody run for the western side. Don't look now, shit on a shingle. Everybody's drinking turpentine. Don't look now, shit on a shingle. Everybody run for the woods. Someone's shitting on a shingle and it isn't looking good. Blood on the front page of all the newspapers. Blood on the feathers of all the little birds. There'll be no more mystery, there'll be no more unknown. My poor little brother's naked and alone. Don't look now, shit on a shingle. Everybody run for the western side. Don't look now, shit on a shingle. Everybody's drinking turpentine. Don't look now, shit on a shingle. Everybody run for the woods. Someone's shitting on a shingle and it isn't looking good. Sur le pont des Invalides, dans ce dent petit cyclotron. Sur le pont des Invalides, dans ce dent petit dupont. Sur le pont des Invalides, dans ce dent petit électron. Sur le pont des Invalides, faites une nuit de petits neutrons. Du signe à la lune dans tous les journaux. Et dessous le plume des petits oiseaux. Il n'y a plus des mystères, il n'y a plus d'inconnus. Pauvre petit frère, vous êtes tenus. Sur le pont des Invalides, dans ce dent petit cyclotron. Sur le pont des Invalides, dans ce dent petit dupont. Sur le pont des Invalides, dans ce dent petit électron. Sur le pont des Invalides, faites une nuit de petits neutrons. Don't look now, shit on a shingle. Everybody run for the western side. Don't look now, shit on a shingle. Everybody's drinking turpentine. Don't look now, shit on a shingle. Everybody run for the woods. The king is shitting on a shingle and it isn't looking good. He was a star, but he didn't get far. That's the way of fortune and fame. Yeah, he was funny, made lots of money, but you can't remember his name. And if you see me out on the street, buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. He went to parties and he met starlets, even had a wife or two. Those were the good days, those were the old days, but now those days are through. And if you see me out on the street, buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. It was November or maybe December. She saw him on a TV show. He did a guest spot and then she remembered his name was Hollywood Joe. And if you see me out on the street, buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. Buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing
so we're literally just gonna squeeze our Limonos. So we want about 1 cup of juice, so we're literally just gonna squeeze.
My name is Sandy. 85.
Drop the ring as you could really feel the water coming. It was so groovy, you can't believe how groovy it was. Just water being
Looks in your noses and right here in the captivity for communist soldiers to betray your culture. Many women have let America go down the drain.
I guess that's just the way it's meant to be.
So now, in your imagination, what is about to happen is real. Henry, I had this one. Good luck to you, Henry Phillips. You know, I was really nice to you, and you're a prick. You're a rude little prick. You know, you act like a, you dropped off my deal like the Russians were in Santa Monica. You're an asshole. You ain't going no place in this business.
Only you can hear and see behind the eyes of the sleepers the movements and countries and mazes and colors and displays.
Juveniles had no point to make whatsoever in their demonstration other than they didn't want to obey the law.
So we want about 1 cup of juice, so we're literally just gonna squeeze.
Fellow Californians, this is Ronald Reagan.
start, it's just going to be like one fucking mess after another. Piss off people that can't afford tickets for
They allow their children to. They wouldn't run around naked, but they allow their children to. Say husband make up to have what the Joneses have. And so the husband has to work 18 hours out of 24 in order to get what the Joneses have.
And wishes of flight and fall and despairs and big seas and their dreams.
I've never been a social guy. I'm always making children cry. I guess that's just the way it's meant to be.
That's a story.
Even though they say she's out of my league, I'm coming up with a plan. I'm gonna change the way I strut my stuff. I'm gonna be a new man. I'm not gonna beg, I'm not gonna plead. I'm just gonna give her something she needs. I'll make her homemade ice cream. Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. Berries on top, and I'm gonna make her mine tonight. The world is changing and there's no way out. We're spinning out of control. Turning in the widening gyre. The center cannot hold, which is why, do or die, there's only one thing left for me to try, and that's homemade ice cream. Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. Berries on top, and I'm gonna make her mine with my homemade ice cream. Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. Berries on top, and I'm gonna make her mine tonight. Welcome to your life. I trust you'll feel the opportunities and endless possibilities around you. Visions of a world that once was beautiful, but now has failed to meet up to our expectations. We are only prisoners in time. She called me up in the middle of the day. She had to turn me down. At first I wanted just to throw it all away, but then I turned it around. I took out the Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. Berries on top, and I'll have a good time with my homemade ice cream.
Now we basically just want to crush
Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. Berries on top, and I'll have a good time with my homemade ice cream.
Okay, so let's just shake this up for about
Ice,
5
milk, and
minutes.
sugar, and you
Actually,
shake
pretty
it
good
all
exercise.
up and make the homemade ice cream.
Now we can put whatever toppings on there. that we
Berries
have
on
handy. I've
top,
got some
and I'm
almonds.
gonna have a good time. Homemade ice cream. I may not be a movie star, I may not drive a shiny car, I may not be surrounded by celebrities or royalty, I may not be the Prince of Wales or the King of Siam. In fact, I don't remember just exactly who I am, 'cause I got hit in the head by a brick and I can't remember a fucking thing. Hit in the head by a brick and I don't remember anything. I might have been some despicable white-collar criminal. I might have been a guy who absconded with investor funds after a crypto rug pull. I could have been some mastermind, or maybe even a foreign spy. Maybe I hacked the NSA or bombed the Nord Stream pipeline, or leaked files that were classified. But don't expect me to testify, 'cause I got hit in the head by a brick and I can't remember a fucking thing. Hit in the head by a brick and I don't remember anything. Hit in the head by a brick and I don't remember a fucking thing. Hit in the head by a brick and I don't remember anything. I got hit in the head by a brick and I don't remember a fucking thing. I might have been a funny singer, but now I can't tell jokes and I can't sing. And maybe the bridge for this song used to be a little bit lower, and maybe even a little bit funnier, maybe just a bit more clever. But don't expect me to remember. Oh yeah. We might have had a one-night stand. I might have even said I love you. I might have even promised you a mountain or the evening stars. We might have called each other honey. Hell, I might have even borrowed money. We might have almost had it all, but don't expect me to call, 'cause I got hit in the head by a brick and I can't remember a fucking thing. Hit in the head by a brick and I don't remember anything. Everybody sing. Hit in the head by a brick and I don't remember a fucking thing. Hit in the head by a brick and I don't remember.
All right, let's pick the tempo back up here again. All right, baby. Let's do something
Help me.
Help me make it through the night, 'cause I am tired, and alone. Help me make 'cause I don't like myself anymore. I was asked to do this song at something called a quinceañera, which is I think it's 15-year-old birthday for a young lady. And even though they didn't understand what I was saying, they never wanted to see me again. I guess I'm just not interesting. I have no personality. I met some guy who had cancer, and he said he felt sorry for me. I'm always coming in last place and getting dirt kicked in my face, and I guess that's just the way it's meant to be. Help me make it through the night. You know what, let's do this as a sing-along, and we're gonna do other songs here, but on the count of 4, everybody. 2, 3, 4. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I am tired, 'cause I am tired and alone, and alone. That's beautiful. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I don't like myself, 'cause I don't like myself. You guys sound really beautiful. I'm not kidding. That's anymore. Hey, maybe we'll bring those lights back up again. I don't want to depress everybody here with the slow songs.
Testing 1, 2, 3, check. Checking the mic. Test 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. Okay. I see Game Master Flash. I see people moving over. Thanks, Gumme Candy. This is a lot for my brain to be able to handle, to be both streaming from my kitchen on Twitch like we always do, but also to use the Bandcamp interface. I guess I'm going to stop the Bandcamp situation, and we're going to all hang out here. Michelle Heffy, thank you so much for saying that it worked out nicely. I was a little worried about it, but with such a supportive community here, I don't worry about that stuff as much as I used to. And I want to thank Michelle Heffy and Josiah Everhart from Orcamind for being the first band that I became a fan of on Bandcamp, and inspired me to get on there as well, or to get Jose Suicidio's music on there. Beanie Bobini says, what the fuck? What the fuck, indeed. Hold on a second. We have an alert that just came down the pike here. I'm looking into it. It looks like Somni 4L has gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you, Somni 4L. And also Game Master Flash and Dooza gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much. And Lady Dina cheered 10 bits. This is incredible. And I just want to look at a couple of the other alerts that we got while the album was playing. We had Kalamazoo Dog saying that this is Jose's best work. Let him know. I will indeed. That's very awesome to hear. Thanks, Kalamazoo Dog. And thanks, Jesse Loves Waffles for the subscription, and Mochi's Nirvana for the tier 3 subscription, and Unsuccessfully Coping, and I Don't Remember, and Hammy X Hams. This is incredible. Thank you so much for your subs. And also Malton33. Thank you for your subscription. Okay, I think everybody's coming over here now back to Twitch. And is everybody here? Stephen Cat says, please let Mr. Jose know we loved the songs. Ranka for producing and getting it out there. Thank you very much, Stephen Cat. Computer, volume 10. Computer, what does Ranka mean?
The name Ranka is an Italian surname which has also been recorded in England since the 18th century. It derives from the Roman, Latin, word rancus meaning a wood or thicket, and is therefore locational for one who lived by or more likely, owned such a place. It is to be found in a wide variety
Okay,
of
computer,
recordings,
stop. This isn't the computer show. This isn't computer's time to just get up there on a podium and start giving some kind of soliloquy. I just didn't know what the word Ranka means, but thank you so much. Once again, BK69 says, don't forget to check your free Prime subs. Every unspent Prime sub is one more yacht for Bezos. Yes, please, let's not give that guy any more yachts. Stephen Cat, yeah, thank you. Ranka very much. Dazzlecat says Computer's Kitchen. Yeah, we don't need Computer's Kitchen. We just want Henry's Kitchen with Computer being an assistant. Speaking of assistant, and that's not the term we use moderators and intern, but I want to thank so much the mods. It's Cape, Yelsby, Beanie Bo Beanie. I'm not sure if Mug was there also, but Mug always does great work as well. And I just want to thank you guys for coordinating all of the moderation on the Bandcamp chat, because you never know. That was an unusual situation for us. Somebody might come in and just say some random swear words or whatever. Not that I mind swear words, but insulting things. I don't mind if people insult me, but I don't like it when people insult maybe my collaborators. But I want to talk about some of those people again. Marty Kaniger, who sang the backup vocals on Homemade Ice Cream. It was such a joy to work with him. He was my manager back in the 90s when I started doing musical comedy in clubs around LA. And he's just got an incredible voice. It was just really cool to collaborate with him. Ira Glansbeek I had never met, but his cello playing really glued the whole All Alone song together. It was fantastic. Matt Westricher, and I'm not sure exactly how he pronounces it, Oestreicher. It was really fun to collaborate with him on 3 of the songs. His beautiful piano on Hitting the Head by a Brick, and also he played the Rhodes and other instruments on Hey Girl, and also did the orchestration and arrangements for Uber, and gave it a stamp of authenticity, which was really great. And Gary Stockdale did the orchestration for the last song. And again, Wade Kelly and Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly Jr. wrote an incredible song, and Wade Kelly really spiced it up with some vocals throughout the back. And Super Nick says, I just love the instruments on Ice Cream. I could vibe to it all day. Yeah, it's about, thank you. It's about 3 guitars. I think I put on 3 different guitars on that, and I've got them left, right, and middle. So it's a whole wall of guitars. And also had a little synthesizer sequence type thing going on throughout the background. But I put that really low because I didn't want it to sound too modern, but I think you can feel it more than hear it. Rosedower007 says, you mean Jose did? No, I actually produced. Jose is a very tortured and difficult person to work with, and a lot of times he didn't even get out of bed. And even though he knows how to play piano very well, I kind of had to do a lot of the grunt work when it came to guitar and shit. Archbound says, did you quote the melody from Let It Be on Buy Me a Cup of Coffee? Well, let me think about that. Buy me a cup and let it be. Yeah, it's very similar. Oh, you know what? I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and that could be my fault. It doesn't resolve to the 1 on the back on my feet. It resolves to the 4, and that's the same thing that Let It Be does. I knew that sounded familiar, but you know, who's ever heard that song Let It Be by the Beatles? Nobody's going to call me out on that one. Capacious T says you mastered it. Oh, yeah, I did the mastering on it, on the album. Godzilla Eyes says it was an album worth waiting over a decade for. Thank you so much, Godzilla Eyes. And Beelzebub just gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. That's absolutely incredible. Thanks, Beelzebub. And thanks again for your moderation work. And also just for being so instrumental in putting the whole Bandcamp listening party together. Thank you. Beanie Bo Beanie says Dark Ringo. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. Let's see here. Josiah says there were some very nice modulation and key changes across the whole album. Thanks, Josiah. And I'm a huge fan of what you guys do in terms of just bringing back harmonies and tonalities that we don't really get to hear as much anymore in music. And I don't know, I really miss modulations and 4-part chords, major 7ths, minor 6ths, and all that stuff. It's a very, it feels like a lot of pop music has moved on from that, but I'd like to hear more of it. Fondue Yourself says, I'm glad Jose has you to help him make such great music. Thanks, Fondue Yourself. Nancy Drudel says the song order was perfection. Henry, yeah, a lot of, and that's another thing. The thought that goes into making a whole album is a really fun and important part of the process. What the fuck? Oh man, Dazzlecat, thank you so much for gifting 5 tier subs. That's incredible of you. I really appreciate that. And thanks again for bringing the song Hit in the Head by a Brick back to life by requesting it randomly at the Naperville gig and making me think, this might be one that I could sell to Jose. And thanks Lil Jammy Jam for your subscription. Very nice. Jose Everhart. Josiah Everhart. Our music is 90% major 7 chords. Yeah. We share the love of major 7th chords. I like to throw a minor 6th in there every now and then too, especially on the 4 chord. Dazzlecat says it's a great song. Happy to hear the new arrangement and getting some new attention. Yeah. Thanks, Dazzlecat. And it was also fun. Jose Everhart is going to be a new character on the Orcamine channel. I'm here for that, for sure. Meatball7 says, are you running Jose's Bandcamp? Yeah, I am. Is it still on? Let's see. That was very confusing, but I'm glad it all kind of worked out. Guitar Joe says, Beato. Yeah. We have footage of Rick Beato praising it. It's only available here in Henry's Kitchen. There are some people saying that it's fake, that it's a hoax, mostly because it's clips of Rick Beato where he's looks 10 years younger, and it's impossible that he could have done those reviews. But I don't know. I think he might a guy like him might have the ability to time travel. Super Nick 188 says, I gave up when they started adding letters to chords. Yeah, you only prefer the numbers. I think they started adding those letters a long time ago. But, you know, your ear is definitely, you know, they say famously that Paul McCartney was a very formerly untrained musician, but has an incredible ear and can find the right stuff. And that might be one of the reasons a lot of that music is so cool, is it doesn't really follow the predictable lines that a lot of people would write. Pancake King says, they say music is a form of time travel. So who knows what boundaries he's crossed. Yeah, he probably has. And Nancy Droodles, he's this generation's Dick Clark. And I want to shout out Nancy Droodles. Not only always good to run into you, like at Zany's Rosemont in Chicago a couple months ago, but also thank you for giving, I think it was Spot the Difference, or one of those, you put a post on the Discord chat that was some submissions for lyrics for Mind Games, and Spot the Difference was hilarious, and I put that one in there, and maybe even a couple other ones too. So thanks for that contribution. I think it's very important to shout out those types of things. And Pancake King says, they say music is a form of time travel, so who knows what boundaries he's crossed. I already read that. Thanks, Pancake King, you're right. Mochi's Nirvana says, Jose's in good company since Paul McCartney has a new album coming out at month's end. Yeah. Jose Suicidio and Paul McCartney both apparently were known to be great tortured artists, although McCartney not quite as tortured, but Jose not quite as good, I guess. Ladies Laid says, I have a tendency to sing songs I listen to, but when I sing some of this to myself at the store, I get weird looks as I hum to myself, there's something broken inside of me. Yeah, something hurts and it's way down deep. I got hit in the head by a brick and I can't remember a fucking thing. Yeah, that's one of my caveats if you're walking around singing Jose Suicidio lyrics, because some of those lyrics will get stuck in your head. Make sure you're not in public or in earshot of other people, especially Shit on a Shingle. WTF or Rovin' in the Bog. WTF says, once Rovin' in the Bog gets going, it makes me want to get to moshing in the pit. Yeah, it really does have sort of a punk rock thing. Well, I know Jose is a big fan of the Pogues, so he might have taken some inspiration from that. Fire says, they're just wondering them too and are shocked. Yeah, and now I'm trying to think of what that's a reference to. I might have read that one too late. Malton, oh, you mean people in public when you're singing that song out loud? Yeah, they're probably just going, well, yeah, that person's singing Shit on a Shingle. We all are. Malton 33 says, parents might get upset if you sing Shit on a Shingle near their children. Yeah, try to make sure. I would say it's a good idea to not have children around when you're listening to Jose Suicidio. And I mean small children. But then again, there's a lot of songs in there that might appeal to them, like Shit on a Shingle. Van Honkerton says, hi, Henry. I don't have any red onions. Can I substitute it with cheese for this grilled cheese recipe? We're actually not cooking at the moment, and I'm very happy to say that. I want to tell you guys, I have a very important announcement to make for fans at the Henry's Kitchen. Wow, Lacey T just gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, Lacey T. That's very kind of you. I was working with the Muller Chopper Dicer Slicer 750 Pro Series that was gifted to me generously by you, the users, and it's an incredible piece of machinery. As you saw the other day, I did slice up this finger. Whoa, Fat Honger just gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, Fat Honger. Very kind of you. And if anybody's keeping track, we're killing it. We've got 416 subscribers. We've never been up that high, or not since the early days. So that's really awesome. Thank you, everybody. Well, I took out the mower, chopper, slicer, dicer to give it another chance, because it really is a badass piece of equipment. I wanted to chop up some potatoes, and I actually wound up doing yet another. So now I've got Band-Aids all over my fingers. And this is not to slag the mower, chopper, slicer. This is on me. It says many times that this is a very dangerous piece of equipment. And I went in a little bit cavalier. But fortunately, the middle finger is still okay. There's no injuries there. But I mean, if this one gets injured too, then I'm really screwed. Fondue Yourself says, have you tried the chainmail? I should have had the chainmail. The thing is, it's very bulky and it's hard to sort of adjust things with it. So it's sort of a trade-off. Ladies Laid, thank you so much for your 100 bits. That's very kind of you. And Anonymous just gifted a tier 1 sub to Harry Ballsack 69. Thank you so much, Anonymous. And we want to welcome Harry Ballsack 69 to the community here. BK69 says, are you a thumb out middle finger guy or closed finger? It depends on how my thumb is feeling at the time, I guess. Beanie Bobini, our intern, just gifted 5 tier 1 subs. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Beanie Bobini. I really just, there's so many things that I want to say, going back to the album and everything. Because of the community of supporters that I have here, I was able to do that album because it's really a hell of a lot of time, and not really time that everybody has, but because of the support. I think there's instantly on Bandcamp Friday, there were about 100 copies of the album sold, and that paid for most of the MacBook Pro computer that was purchased in order to make the album, because I had a really old one that wasn't going to cut it. And there just is a really nice thing about the fact that this album quite literally would not exist if it weren't for the Henry's Kitchen supporters saying that it was something that they would be interested in and requesting it. Nancy Droodles says, what was the hardest song to complete? I'd probably say Homemade Ice Cream, because of that. I really wanted to put that 8 bars or whatever it is of the rock song that I wrote back when I was a teenager right in the middle of it, because it had the same tempo and it was just a personal choice. But being able to match that seamlessly and have it go from one sort of a Jimmy Buffett kind of style of music and then go right into more of a trying to be like Rush or one of those types of things, it was really difficult to get them to blend. And I think eventually I got it, but it really took a lot of time. Fondue Yourself says, it did make me think of Rush. Success. Yeah, thanks, Fondue Yourself. There's little homages to all kinds of classic rock music throughout the whole thing. Lady Dina, thank you so much for cheering 100 bits. That's very kind of you. And Boner of a Lonely Fart says, do you have a song that you're most proud of that people don't mention as much? That's a good question. I think I might say Hey Girl. I know people like it, but to me, that one, I think, honestly, in the 1970s, that one could have been a hit. But it's just, like everything else in my life, 50 years late to the party. And that's pretty late to be for a party. Thanks, Super Nick. And Roach Swallower, I love to sing that one. Yeah, I think it's a catchy one. Well, Malton33 says it's their favorite. Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm glad. These songs, it's hard to pick a favorite because it's a little bit like picking your children, you know. Some of them you like, some of them didn't really age that well, some of them you kind of wish you never really had in the beginning. Official Shitter says, Hey Girl has been stuck in my head for several days. Wow, that's really great to hear. McFlurry Max says 50 years late and I'm dead. Yeah, you got to make sure you're not 50 years late to any party. Especially one that happens when you're in your middle ages. BK69 says, I'm an unwanted child, so I really feel that. Yeah, no, I mean, it's not uncommon to have feelings about that where I think I found out, not to get too personal, that I was not necessarily a planned situation. But anyway, we're getting away from the Jose Suicidio. Insufficiently Right says relatable. Yeah. BK69 says, oh yeah, and we talked about that. Fondue Yourself says, I was wanted, but I think my parents regret it. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things like that. And this is where music comes from. I think especially Jose Suicidio music. Official Shitter says, can't plan for greatness. That's true. Zbigniew says, can you imagine I lost some pound at 40s and girls starts winks at me? That's awesome that girls starts winks at you. Yeah, it just, and it's not so much losing the weight, but it's like looking like you're trying, and people are attracted to that when you get on a little bit of a health kick. And I was told one time that glasses apparently are attractive on a person because it looks like you care about seeing, and that's an attractive quality. I'd say that the quality that I'm most attracted to in a person is if they have fear of dangerous things. Like, if you see somebody walking across 8 lanes of traffic on a Friday afternoon in a very busy part of a city, that's unattractive to me. I like it when someone's scared of fast-moving vehicles, but that's just me. Steve and Kat says, I hope the individual who stole my credit card and continues to subscribe to this stream also purchases the album. Wow, thanks, Steve and Kat. Would love to listen on repeat, tied to a chair while my feet are tickled with a feather. Ronka. There's that word again. Ronka, right back to you, Steve and Kat. And thank you so much for subscribing. That's very kind of you. And feet tied to a chair and on repeat is a great way to listen to this album, to tie it all back. Dazzlecat says, I really think I could live on a deserted island as long as there was food. Yeah, there's got to be food, otherwise you die, right? And I think there was some food in the movie Castaway. He must have, right? Boner of a Lonely Fart says, you're well known as an amazing guitarist. Well, thanks. But I'm curious when you decided to learn piano and if your musical knowledge made it easier to pick up. Thanks, Boner of a Lonely Fart. So when I was a kid, we used to go to a house in Connecticut of some friends of my family that had a piano. And while the other kids would go out and play on their dirt bikes and do jumps and stuff, I would sit there and try to pick out things on the piano. I didn't have formal lessons, but my fingers were getting accustomed to it at a young age, which is important. I did try to go out and dirt bike with the guys once, and they were all taking this jump, and I got on the bike, and it was very rickety, and then when the jump came, for whatever reason, my bike toppled upside down, and I wound up just eating shit for about 100 yards with my face just hitting up against rocks and stuff like that, and I was bloody. And all the kids said, man, that was the best wipeout we've ever seen. You're really, really good at this. And I was like, thanks, guys. I think I'm going to go back to the piano and just sort of do that from now on. So I did have some experience. Yeah, Official Shitter, you're right. If I would have had more fear of dangerous things, I wouldn't have had that situation. But I had to try it. But to answer your question, so when I was 35 years old, I decided I wanted to take formal piano lessons. And I went through a few teachers, and it was very slow going. There was one guy who just had me hit one note for an entire hour for the first 4 lessons, and it cost like $75 per lesson. And I finally was like, fuck you, man. And I don't know. I'm looking back going, I never saw that guy even play piano. How do we know that he was a real teacher? But it's very difficult when you start getting older to learn new things. You don't really have the kind of time. When It's Kate X says, did you nail that note? Not according to him. He kept on saying, no, you're doing it too soft. You've got to hit it firmly. And then I hit it firmly. No, that was too loud. But when you're a kid and you learn something, you're in this formative state where I think that we're part of our evolution or whatever is that we're supposed to be able to absorb new skills much more easily. And when you get older, if you haven't learned it by then, you're supposed to be teaching it. But I tried. A good example is I was always one of these typers who just did the two fingers or whatever. And at some point a couple of years ago, I was like, well, I'm going to go to this website, typing.com, and it teaches you how to type the real way. And I never quite got it as well. So it is hard. I don't want to discourage it, though, because I used to give guitar lessons, and I had a couple of 50-year-olds that I would teach. And it's definitely possible to get to the point where you can sit around at a campfire and play a couple of Eagles tunes. And for a lot of people, that's all they like, Parasitosis says the plasticity of the human brain does degrade over time. Yeah, I think so. Saguaro Ooh says, so it's really too late for most of us to learn anything. I guess I won't try anymore. Not at all. But, I tried learning golf a couple years ago, and I really enjoy it. But I know that I'm not going to be a pro. I'm not even going to be a guy that other people want to play with because I suck that bad. But it doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying the process of learning it. So hopefully that's an inspiration to everybody. Pug Lady says, learning the xylophone is fun as an adult. That's awesome. Yeah, I the last thing I want to say is not to try because you absolutely can get pretty far. And to be honest, my piano playing is really not that bad. It's not what it was for the guitar. It was much easier to learn when I was a kid. It's Kate X says, all you need is 4 chords nowadays. Yeah, that's right. And if you take the advice of Orca Mind and myself, hopefully they're major 7 chords. Parasitosis says, the only thing you need to know how to do when in golf is how to handle 36 beers in 18 holes. Yep. And that's really the only thing you need to know in all of life. Guitar Joe says, yeah, go out there and suck at something new. Absolutely, I like that positivity. Saguaro Ooh says, okay, I am inspired. I think I'll try for mediocre. Well, nothing wrong with mediocrity. In fact, you could probably turn that into an expert level of mediocrity that nobody else has ever achieved before. McFlurry Mac says, yeah, being shit at something is fun, even if people are wondering why the hell you're having so much fun being so shit. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Van Hunkerton says, hi, Henry. I recently learned leather crafting and smithing. Maybe some stuff is easier to learn compared to music. Leather crafting and smithing. Wow. Yeah, that's probably difficult to learn. I will say that cooking is one of those things that some people could say, well, you're just good at it. I've had times, I remember cooking with my grandma one time, and I was trying to do everything exactly by the book. And it said like 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And so I filled it up exactly and put it in there. And my grandma came over and just randomly put a bunch of salt in there without even measuring it or anything. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? It didn't say to put salt in there. And she goes, I know what I'm doing. And it really did come out tasting delicious. And I think that the reason that story is so sort of beautiful to me is it tells me that my grandma was a natural, and I was one of these people that had to learn it by the books, and she was better at it. It's too bad she eventually had to go to jail. Danny Wonders has subscribed for 20 months. Thank you so much, Danny Wonders. Ash K. Thanks says, did she learn that in prison? No, she was already a good cook going in, and I think that's why she got time off for good behavior, because she was actually very productive in the kitchen. They have prisoners work in the kitchens sometimes, I guess. Tailwagger 2 says, Grandmas always know best. Yeah. Let me see if I have any coffee left here. This went a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. Hey, Mal199, thank you so much for your subscription, your Prime subscription, and thank you, Danny Wonders. I've been doing this 4 years, and I still don't really know what exactly a Prime subscription is, but I definitely know it's great. Beanie Bo Beanie, thank you so much. Thanks for your internship. Cyanar says, I was born in jail, and I will die in jail. Oh, well, thanks for joining us here. I'm glad they have, that they allow you to do this kind of thing. Dodger 10 says, is the song Uber based on real life events? Yeah, definitely. Jose was inspired particularly by stories from friends of his. There's nothing worse than being told by somebody that they don't like you romantically, and then just a couple weeks later asking if you can help them and their significant other move into a new apartment together. That's really the story that inspired Uber. The Gym Dodger says, how far is my nearest pharmacy? Computer, how far is the Gym Dodger's nearest pharmacy?
Duran Pharmacy is 0.6 miles away on 525 North Glendale Avenue in Glendale.
Okay, the Gym Dodger. I assume you're in Glendale. Whoa, we got a lot happening. First, Super Nick 188, what's your favorite song you've ever made? It's a very good question. I would say maybe melody-wise, it's probably On the Shoulders of Freaks, although the lyrics are sort of a living, breathing process there. But I think that's probably my favorite melody that I've ever written. And honestly, in terms of song, in terms of a song that I think for whatever reason, and I didn't write it, Jose Suicidio did, but I would say Help Me. When I look at the comments on YouTube, there's a few instances of people putting the song up on YouTube. It feels like it really has an effect on people. Although there still is an ongoing lawsuit that says that Jose stole that beginning part of the melody from Ground Control to Major Tom by David Bowie. But also David Bowie might have stolen it from Jose too. Wow, look at this. Boner of a Lonely Fart. Tip $20. That's very kind of you, Boner. And it says, thanks again for the great reply to my Patreon message and the inspiration. Amazing job on the album. Thanks, Boner of a Lonely Fart. Boner reached out on the Patreon and asked for the chords to All Alone. And you know what, Boner, if you want, I'm okay if you want to copy and paste that into the Discord so everybody can see those chords. And I'm always good to tell people what the chords are for anything. All right, everybody. Guitar Joe says, I'm currently sucking trying to learn to sing along with my guitar playing. Letter in the Mail. What a great song. Thanks, Guitar Joe. Oh, I do like the way that melody is, too. I appreciate that. Beanie Bo Beanie wants some brisket cam. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to set up the brisket cam, and we're going to end on that. Let's see how we do this here. I got to pull up the OBS cam. Brisket's in a really good position right now, so this should work. There's Brisket. Always sleeping. That's all he ever does. Game Master Flash says, any chord? What's the one that resolves the intro in pure imagination? It's a 2-5-1, I think. But I don't know if that's the intro you're talking about. But I think that's a 2-5-1, if I'm not mistaken. So it'd be the 1 chord that resolves it, as usually it does. But I don't know the particular part. But if you ever want a musician to just start talking, ask them about anything involving music theory, because they love talking about it, even sometimes out of their ass. Devrian Vankas says, Henlips, do you ever consume adult content? I guess, yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about in terms of food. I would say broccoli is a very adult thing. Kids don't like that, so I've definitely consumed that. Lady Dina, thanks again for cheering 5 bits. Incredible. And Remsy09, thanks again for your subscription. Remsy09 says, Jose Suicidio merch. Yeah, there is an album. There is a vinyl record. It does cost several $100s and takes many years to arrive because of the shipping costs. But there is a Jose Suicidio album on vinyl. I don't know who's going to get it first. I know It's Kate ordered it. Jose Suicidio ordered one. I think it's coming sometime in June. So, all right. Please, and Game Master Flash and Nancy Droodles. I think there's been 21 records sold, which is more than I would have thought. It's Kate X says, my estimate dispatches before June 10th. Well, that's great. Yeah, it's going to take a while, but whoever gets theirs first, please let me know, and let me know if it all looks good and sounds good. I can't wait. I've never been on vinyl in any form, so I'm looking forward to that. Hammy Xham says, I'm about to order mine. That's awesome. And Hammy Xham says, my birthday is in June, so I'll be perfect. Okay, is it still going to get there by June? Meatball says, I can't find it even. It's on a website called Elastic Stage. Beanie Bobini says, is there a secret message if you play it backward? Let's find out. I don't know. Pug Lady says, Jose album t-shirts on buttery soft fabric would be amazing. Okay, sounds good. Well, everybody, wow, this turned out to be kind of an unexpected regular Twitch stream, and I want to thank everybody for their patience in terms of me sort of trying to figure out this situation. And I want to thank you for joining on a what's this? Danny Wonders says, what's with the permanently boiling kettle in the background? Oh, you mean the I don't know which thing you're referring to. Oh, I think you're talking about some of this stuff gets distorted on camera for whatever reason. Thanks, Beanie Bobini. Thanks to all the users. Thanks to the moderators. Michelle Heffy, thank you. And Josiah. Check out Orca Mind's Bandcamp, as long as we're talking Bandcamp. They make great, great music and a lot of video game covers of songs that you guys would probably know more than I would. But it's all great stuff. Danny Wonders, I see now. Beelsby says, this was a lot of fun. Thank you. Thanks, Beelsby. Thanks for, I think it was your idea to do a Bandcamp listening party. Thanks for that. That was a great idea. Official Shitter says, Ronka, Henry. Ronka users. Yeah, Ronka to everybody. The chunk, this is a new word for me. I never knew about it. Goat Sheed says, we love our incarcerated hen heads. Okay, yeah. Everybody's incarcerated nowadays, right? The Chunks says, thanks so much for everything, Henry. Thank you, and thanks, Gummy Candy. Nancy Droodles says, don't slam it too hard. Yeah, please don't slam it too hard. Thanks, Josiah, Meatball, Pug Lady. And I hope everybody has a great Friday night and a good night's sleep. And I'll see you on Sunday at noon. We'll be cooking up some shit. Thanks, everybody.